Hey, it's Bruce Hill, new skills, new you, and this is my background on on all my devices. It's a picture of the future, so you can peek in. I couldn't decide if I wanted the luxury version or the premiere, so I'm like, all right, let's do both of them. So this video is about onboarding your first sales team member, and I'm kind of starting right here because this is what I wake up to every day. So you have a peek into how I do things, and then I've got my rapper, athlete, entrepreneur hoodie on. I was gonna put on like a tie. I was gonna put on like a button up. And I'm like, man, every boring that sales trainer I've seen was always in a suit and tie. And unless you're out in front of people, in person, maybe you're doing a presentation to the C-suite, maybe you're part of school sales. Like that's not how we teach. That's not how we learn. So sales can be fun. It can be actually pretty interesting. And that's why I try to keep it. I just try and be authentic. Plus, I don't see any sales trainers that look like me. So here we go. All right. The topic today, let's blow this up. How to onboard your first sales representative. And actually, I wrote this one for my good friends, the Hartzogs. They're continuing to grow, which I love bragging about them. You can visit cleaningbusinessmasterclass.com, cleaningbusinessmasterclass.com, and tap in how to build and grow a successful cleaning business. And I love the parentheses, right? Without ever cleaning a home. So if you're looking for a new business to start and you're like, man, I really don't want to be on TikTok dancing. I don't want to. I don't have a lot of money to put into buying a bunch of cars to rent out a rental fleet. This is something to check out. So this video is for them specifically, and you all can benefit and learn with them as we go. There's four pieces. There's four pieces that you need in order to onboard a sales representative successfully. Number one is the who. Number two is the how. Number three is who again. And number four is, let's call it infrastructure. Let's call it systems. All right. Those are the four pieces. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So what I'll do is I'll break down each one and we'll dive in the layers. I try to keep these under 10 minutes. If you can't explain it in under 10 minutes, you don't understand it well enough. That's my rule. Okay. And I'm already 2 minutes in, so let's roll. Who? The person you're going to hire. The person you're going to bring onto the team member. This one seems obvious, but you should like working with them. You don't have to be best friends. Invite them to your birthday party, to your kid's christening. That's not what I'm saying. But if you don't like working with them, it's very likely your clients or future clients aren't going to like working with them. So when I say friendly, I don't mean that they're talking about the weather and checking in on your grandma. But I do want it to be someone we can get along with. I That's a whole nother training. How do we test that in an interview? How do we screen for that on a resume? But I'm telling you right now, if you've ever run a business, if you've ever hired someone, if you've ever worked alongside someone that you just did not like, you understand how important that is. Now, is there such thing as being too friendly? Don't forget this is a job. These clients aren't supposed to be your best friends, right? This isn't a dating app. We're calling them for a purpose. We're calling them to accomplish a goal. So when we tap into the who, let me zoom in again. Actually, let me do it this way. I want someone we can all get along with. Misspelled ambitious. Oh, I put an extra letter in there. So friendly is the first one. Number two, ambitious. I want someone to have some drive. When we're talking about sales, it's results driven. Like you don't say, man, I made 100 calls today. I should get a raise. Well, how many of those people did you talk to? How many of those people scheduled a call? How many people say yes? How many of those people paid you some money? That's what I want to know. And we'll talk about tracking their activity. That's number four when we talk about systems. Are they ambitious? Do they have drive? Whether that's recognition driven, whether that's money driven, that's fine. Ooh, I need to add some in here though. This one's a little bit harder to test for. That's why referrals are so important. Leverage your network when hiring. You call the references. Do they have integrity? We don't want folks stealing the church's money. All right. Focus. There's two layers to focus. How many other projects are they working on right now? Do they have the time to give your business attention. A lot of businesses I've worked with over the past 6 months, especially the family owned, they know everyone. They're hiring their family, their cousins, their nieces. We're cool. We've grown up together. But they run into trouble when they start hiring outside of the family. They have to hire because they're growing, which is great. But there's questions that they don't ask because they assume everyone thinks like them. There's questions they don't ask because they're used to working with people who believe in the vision, who are part of the vision. So focus is important. And then that's externally. What are they doing outside? Internally, is this someone that can pay attention to the task at hand and do their best at the one thing they're working on right now? Okay. And then I put brave. This one's actually pretty simple to see in salespeople. I just ask a very simple question. You haven't hit quota for 6 months. What do you do? And there's there's three answers. They're going to either ask why I haven't hit quota. They're going to say work harder, or they're going to say I'm going to ask for help. I want someone, and people will tell you, like, if I haven't quota in 6 months, I got to go. That's fine. Don't hire them. Those people are good. What's the word I'm looking for? On the right side of that cash flow quadrant. That's good. Sometimes you do need to quit. But if you're hiring a salesperson, I want someone that doesn't have, country folks say, ain't no quit in them. All right? So that's the who. That's who we need to hire. If you can get this right, you really can screw up almost all of this. And that person is going to help you figure it out. You can hire someone like me to figure it out and save you some trouble. All right, number 2, how. This one I run into, this is actually what I help with. Let me put this in bold. I help with the how. How are we going to set this person up for success? How are we going to set up for success? They really only need 2 things. They need contact information. That's a name, email, phone number, or address. I don't know if you're doing door to door. How are we getting in touch with these people? And how are we communicating with them? So again, is it door to door? Then the contact information I need is the address. Is it by the phone? Then the contact method will be a phone number. This is so simple, but I promise you I have to say this because I watched some people do it wrong or just not do it. They expect you to just magically pull leads out of thin air. Okay? Are they coming from Facebook ads? Are we going to find them on LinkedIn? Where are we getting this contact information? You want me to email them? What's their email address? Did they opt in? Hey, let's go back over here. All right, do they opt in? All right, name, email address, phone number, textbook. Good job, guys. I didn't look at this opt-in page before I shot this. I do one take. So this is textbook. We got to have some contact information. Then you're gonna say how I call them. Okay, you want me to call them? What am I calling on? Do I have a CRM? We're gonna talk about that in systems. All right, when we get down here, use your cell phone. I worked with one company. Wasn't a great experience. They wanted me to call from my cell phone. And I didn't have an issue with giving my phone number to strangers. That's fine. I have extra phone numbers just for that sort of thing. The problem is we can't track it. That was my problem. And I couldn't communicate that well, so we had to go our separate ways. That's fine. I couldn't try. And then when someone would call me back, I had no idea who it was. I had numbers from all over calling me. 312, 313, 404, 440, 330, 303. I'm like, wait, is that Maryland or California? I don't know. So while we can keep it real simple, you can have a spreadsheet of information, pull out your cell phone, get to work. No excuses. However, if you want them to succeed, we're going to have systems. So let's have a clear how. Let's have a clear how. Now let's go back to who. This is the second who. This is the client. So the first who is who are we hiring? Second who are we helping? So let's blow this up again. All right, listen, one of these days we'll have a full production studio. We'll have a smart board for taking notes and such. But today, It's progress over perfection. All right. Who are we calling? This is so important. If I say, hey, I need you to call these leads, all right, I'll call them. Who are they? Oh, well, all these leads are people that opt into our webinar. Oh, so now I have a point of reference. Now I have some rapport to build. Hey, this is Bruce from Cleaning Business University. Really excited that you're joining our webinar Wednesday at 6 p.m. What made you sign up? They're like, oh man, I got to do something different, man. My dead end job, right? I really been wanting to start a business, but I don't have a lot of time. I think this could be a good method for me. They might say, I don't know, but we have something to talk about. We have a reason to call them. Now, I teach cold calling and prospecting, but in this noisy world, let's work on the warm leads first. Let's talk to the people that want to talk to us before we talk to people who've never heard of us. Okay, it still works, but let's focus on the easiest method first, not the hardest method first. All right. So why are we calling them? I could call them, hey, don't forget to show up. Say, hey, listen, if you're ready to take action, let's go ahead and get you started. I could call after the webinar. Hey, I noticed you attended the webinar, but you didn't get started. What's going on? They say, oh, I don't have the money right now. I don't think this is for me. I had a couple questions. Hey, what are your questions? Right? Why do they want to talk to us? Oh my goodness. If you can answer this question, I assure you, you will create more success in your business faster. More success faster. Why are people starting a business? It's because they have too much free time? I'm bored? No, think about why people want to start a business. Maybe they got a criminal record, some things they did in the past they're not proud of. They're like, man, I don't have any other options. Maybe they're like, okay, I got a good job, car's paid off, credit score strong, but I want to leave a legacy. I can't leave my job to my kids. I want to build something with my name on it. Why are they interested in what we're offering? What's their motivation? That's such a simple question, but I promise you, I'm working on a book. Better questions, better clients. Hey, read that on your own time. You need to know the answer to this question. If you don't know the answer to this question, guess what you need to do? Ask them. All right. Here's what happens next. They answer this question. If you already know, you should tell them, hey, I know you're looking for financial freedom. Here's the solution. It's a very different conversation. Would you like to buy my Cleaning Business University? No. Who are you? Go away. Click. And that's what a lot of people do. And then they say things like, oh, sales isn't for me. I'm not a salesperson. No. You're telling people what you want to sell them instead of giving them the chance to purchase what they want to buy. The solution is an opportunity for them to achieve their goal. Not because you want to make some money. No one buys from you because they like you. They buy from you because they think that you have a solution, whether that's avoiding a problem or achieving a promise. Now, if there's two options, they're going to go with the person they like. They are. They like the most. They are. But no one wakes up in the morning. Anthony's a great friend of mine. Love that dude. Highest respect for him as a father, as a family man. But I'm not. I don't want to start a cleaning business. So just because I like my good friend doesn't mean that's gonna motivate me to do the work, to sit through the course, to take action. So I want y'all to be careful to go around thinking it's a popularity contest. No, you need to be offering a solution. All right, I'm off my soapbox. I got distracted. Pushing 15 minutes, but I want to make sure we dive deep enough you can get this. So when you're clear on the solution, then they have to have a next step. Whether that's sign up, download, schedule a call, they have to have a clear next step. What's going on here? Oh, okay. We got to get some punctuation. It should be a simple one next step. Do not try and download everything from your brain into that 15-minute call. I see it happen all the time. I wrote a training. It was called Discovery Calls to Closing Calls. And in this copy, I said, are your discovery calls turning into 45-minute coaching calls, but they are not turning into coaching clients? That one did pretty well. It did okay. I might have to run it back. Keep it simple. And I believe that's really all I need to say about that. One simple next step. Let's put that here. One simple next step. All right. You want people that are going to take action. So now, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I do answer all of them, at least for now. It's 2024. Maybe a year from now, I won't have the bandwidth. All good things in abundance. All right, let's blow this up. Last thing. Oh, 26. There we go. CRM. So when I talked about how we're reaching out to them, this is another layer of that. Because you really just need, you can have a piece of paper and a cell phone. But, and that could be a cell phone, it could be email, it could be in person. That's why I'm talking about contact method. Systems are important for two reasons. Let's write this down. Systems are for tracking and scaling. How many calls did you make this week? I shouldn't have to go. Hold on a second. I got to look on the back of this mail. I think I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. I wrote down my calls on the back of this this letter, right? No, I should be able to go in the CRM and pull a report from March 1st to March 30th. How many calls were there? How many were answered? How many scheduled appointments? How many dollars? I should be able to find out how many dollars per call answered I have. Because that tells me, one, is the salesperson, let's go back up here, is the person I've hired worth the money I'm paying them? You want to talk about, I like commissions with a very small base because sales is results focused role. So I got to make sure that there's a positive ROI. And then for the salesperson, I want to make sure it's worth their trouble. Tracking and scaling. And that means when it's time to add a second salesperson, a third salesperson, I don't have to be like, oh, well, Bruce already called these people, or I'm going to call and he's going to email. Listen, I'm going to go in the CRM. I'm going to assign some leads to you. Call them. I'm going to assign some leads to Bruce. Bruce is going to call them. Don't call Bruce's leads. In fact, if you have a good CRM, they won't even see Bruce's leads. They'll just see their leads. A calendar. Oh my goodness. This one is so simple. I love Calendly. There's lots of options out there. TidyCal, Google Workspace has a great one. Acuity's nice. I really don't care what you use. Two things. It should integrate with your CRM, and everybody should use the same thing. All right, virtual meeting software. I like Google Meet. I run most of my business through Google Workspace. I don't really care as long as everybody uses the same thing. And I do recommend you record sales calls. I do recommend you record sales calls for two reasons. If they give you money, you want to make sure it's documented that you have their permission to run their card. Now, if you're using folks in other countries, I actually recommend them sending a link and letting the salesperson walk them through it over the phone, over the Zoom. It just cuts down on fraud and any impact to your business. The client comes around and says, oh, they stole my identity. And I don't want to be, I think it's xenophobic. I just haven't happened before. Fortunately, not to any of my clients. But I want to make sure we're protecting the business. So you're recording it, protects the client, and also protects your business. Like, hey, no, you give us a card, you give us permission to run this amount for this many months or weeks. And then also it's a quality assurance thing. You want to make sure that your team members are following the script, they're following protocol. So when you have these in place, these are the three basics. There's lots of fancy tools and AI we could teach you. But if you do these things, if you can answer these questions, if you have this in place, this person will be successful. This person will be successful. So that's how you onboard your first sales representative. And that's where I want to see your businesses scale and grow to be successful. All right, if you need any more support, what's the call to action? The link to the calendar is going to be in the comments. Schedule a call, a solution call. We're going to help you onboard your first sales representative. Remember, one new skill will change your life.